Just so you guys know, there's a brand new episode on my podcast, Let's Get Real, the podcast. It's for anyone. Don't forget to check it out. Available on all streaming platforms. New episodes every single Monday. And of course, my book, Mindfulness Through the Stars, is available in Target, Amazon, pretty much anywhere you can find books nationwide. Go check it out. It's a mindfulness guide to becoming a better you through your zodiac sign. Lastly, if you've ever wanted guidance, clarity, or spiritual advice of any kind, Keen is the place for you. With access to thousands of trusted psychics, clairvoyants, tarot readers, and more, Keen is here to help. Use my link in the description to claim 10 minutes of talk time for only $1.99. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ashley and I make astrology videos here on YouTube. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing the first of two parts. I feel like I'm going to ramble quite a bit in this video. I don't want it to be too long, so we're going to do part 1 and part 2 featuring 6 zodiac signs in each video. Today we're talking about what your Mercury sign says about you. So we're going to start with Aquarius today because my Mercury is in Aquarius, so is my sun actually. We're going to go from Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer today. Before we get into the video, I wanted to give a quick little word from our sponsor, Ana Luisa Jewelry. So right now, Ana Luisa Jewelry is doing a massive sale for Black Friday. They're doing some crazy deals. One of them being buy one, get 60% off, and all of their jewelry is real. So I'm wearing a couple of pieces right now. I'm wearing this gold necklace here, which I absolutely love. I got a matching gold ring with it. And I also have on these beautiful earrings here that I absolutely love. I only have one ear piercing, so it kind of looks like I'm wearing 2 piercings, which is really cool. I've always loved Ana Luisa. I've worked with them many times, so I have a whole jewelry collection by them that has been building up for a couple of years now, and they're holding up so well. It's all real gold, so of course the quality lasts you pretty long. Ana Luisa is an amazing jewelry company with quality items that are ethically sourced. It always feels good to work with a brand that, you know, I feel like I can actually speak of, and I know that they are an ethical company, and I don't know, it feels good knowing that I'm sharing a brand like that with you guys. The quality is amazing. I've always loved all my pieces. I wear them daily. My favorite part about Ana Luisa though is their amazing prices. Even without the sale, they are extremely affordable for high quality lasting jewelry, and I just find that really amazing that they're able to do that somehow. So if you guys are interested in taking advantage of their amazing Black Friday deals, make sure to click the link in my description box. I'm gonna have it down there below for you guys, and I'm also gonna link the pieces that I have on in this video because this necklace, everything here is just super cute, and I feel like someone's gonna ask me what the name is, so I'm just gonna put it down below as well for you guys. So yeah, if you guys are interested, click the link in my description, and thank you to Ana Luisa for sponsoring this video. All right, so let's get started. We're gonna start with Aquarius today. So Aquarius as a Mercury sign. So first of all, if you guys didn't know, Mercury sign rules communication pretty much. So of course you can look it up a little bit more, but if you're wondering, you know, why you and your partner have such compatible signs, but your communication is shit, it probably has more to do with what placements you guys have and what sign you have in Mercury, as well as what sign they have in Mercury. So I learned that one of my exes, their Mercury sign was absolutely incompatible with mine. And I always wondered why our arguments would just go in circles and we wouldn't get anywhere. It's because our signs are just clashing, and they were not compatible. So when you learn someone's Mercury sign, it can actually really help you because then you learn how to communicate with them. So anyways, Aquarius. If your Mercury is an Aquarius, you're a very logical person. You're someone who's able to communicate with reason. You don't really get angry, you don't explode, you don't yell, you know, you're not crazy. You're just very reasonable and logical and level-headed. That means you have a really hard time communicating with people who are really emotional and expressive and loud, because for you, you just don't really understand why people need to get to that point. You just want to have a conversation, and more emotional Mercury signs might be more, you know, expressive and not crazy. I don't want to use the word crazy. Crazy, I guess that's that doesn't fly well with you. You know, some people love the crazy. Aquarius are not into that. They just want to have a conversation and they want to resolve whatever is happening. If your Mercury is an Aquarius, you're someone who's very good at communicating how you're feeling, and you're also really good at listening and empathizing and understanding the other person's perspective, as long as they are reasonable with you and can carry the conversation in a mature manner. If they don't do that, you're gonna have a hard time, and you're probably gonna shut down and you're not gonna listen. If someone's yelling at you, you're the type to just like, okay, I don't care, and you're gonna just let them say whatever they want to say, and at that point you're gonna stop communicating because you expect a level of respect that, you know, you want them to give to you, and if they can't meet that, you're not interested in talking. Pisces is quite the opposite. Pisces in Mercury means you're a little more emotional. You tend to actually shut down a lot. So you're someone that when you get to that point of communicating, you actually don't really want to do it. You're not interested. Not because you don't care, but because you feel misunderstood a lot. So you feel like it's not worth getting into. You'll either shut down and say nothing, or you will over communicate and say too much and get too emotional and just kind of like fly off the handles. You're not the best at communicating, if I'm being honest with you. You let your emotions get the best of you, whether that emotion be anger, sadness, frustration, annoyance. You will let it take over, and that will be what you kind of put out, the energy that you give, rather than like, hey, I want to resolve this. You're gonna just give them emotional energy that, you know, not everyone is receptive to. So be careful if your Pisces is in Mercury. Try and level out your emotions before approaching a situation and approaching conflict, because you don't want that to, you know, stop the other person from wanting to even have a conversation with you. With an Aries in Mercury, you have a hard time being empathetic, most likely. You're not too sensitive to other people's emotions. So kind of like the Aquarius, if you're dealing with someone who, you know, is a little more sensitive, a little less logical, you have a hard time. You're okay with expressive though, like you will be more expressive. So if you get mad, you will you will communicate that, and you will get mad, you know, like you're the type to cause a scene. So you're not impossible to communicate with when emotions are put up front, because you'll kind of just match that. You tend to match the energy of whatever the person's giving you, except sadness. You don't really match sadness. You kind of combat that with frustration. You're not the most empathetic when it comes to sadness. You're kind of like, why are you crying? Like, can we just deal with the situation? What are you doing? You would rather talk about it or yell about it than cry about it. But when it comes to like other emotions, you can be empathetic. You can be a little bit impatient with a conversation. Sometimes you just want to get it over with, but you're willing to have it. You're just not the most logical. So you're just there for the ride. You want to just get it over with. You want to talk it out. If they don't want to have a long conversation, you're okay with that. You're able to get over things pretty quickly. So communicating your feelings won't take long for you. You will get straight to the point, and you expect the other person to do the same. As a Taurus in Mercury, you're probably someone who has a hard time expressing themselves. You know how you feel, and your fear is that the other person won't understand you. So sometimes you don't want to explain because you just feel like no one's really gonna get it. And not in like the sappy, woe is me way that the Pisces does, no offense Pisces, but more of like a, I'm too complex for someone to understand, so there's no point in me bothering. They're not gonna get it. When it comes to communication, I mean, like the typical Taurus, you tend to think that you're always right. So sometimes you get into a conversation and you're already on defense mode because you assume that the person's gonna try and like argue that you're right or whatever, and you're not willing to always listen. Sometimes you just want to get your points across without actually listening. It kind of becomes more of like a battle for you. It's like a me versus you rather than us two versus the argument. And that's not a good trait to have. So if you're a Taurus in Venus and you feel like you relate to that, it's definitely something that you should kind of work on, because it can really hinder, you know, any progress in your relationship, and you don't want to really go there with your partner, because that's not the point of a relationship. You're not fighting against each other. You're fighting together to overcome something together. You're on the same team. So Gemini and Mercury. So with you guys are actually really good at communicating how you feel, expressing yourself, all those things. However, your downfall is you're not very good at listening. You're not very receptive to what the other person is telling you. You tend to react more than you respond. When you're listening, you don't actually take the time to listen. You're listening to respond. That's your problem. You tend to just hear things, okay, how can I defend myself? How can I defend myself? And then you rebuttal. You're trying to like just rebuttal. It's not even that you always think you're right. You don't. You have this problem when it comes to listening. You just have a really hard time understanding others sometimes, and then hours later you're able to process it and be like, oh yeah, they had a point, but in the moment it's really hard for you. So I find that Geminis with like heavy placements and like Mercury Geminis, you guys really need to work on your listening abilities as well as your ability to be empathetic. And You also need to focus on learning to take the time to respond. If you don't know what to say, just wait. You don't have to just like come up with something clever on the spot. Like, you can wait it out, talk about it later, reflect, so that you don't say something you regret, because Geminis tend to say things that they regret really often because they're super impulsive and super reactive, and that is just like not a good quality to have with someone who's trying to work on something with you and overcome an argument, you know? So it's just, it gets kind of toxic when the Gemini lets their ego get in the way. All right, so the Cancer in Mercury, you guys are actually pretty good at communicating. You're really good at listening. You're really good at empathizing. You're the type of people that you'll ask questions and sit and think about them before you respond. You can be a little bit sensitive, but if you're self-aware enough, you're able to like decide on what someone means versus what someone says, you know what I mean? So you might have an interpretation of something, but they might not have meant it that way, but you're able to reflect on that for long enough and put your emotions to the side for a moment and be like, okay, I was being sensitive, they didn't mean it that way. The evolved ones can do that. The unevolved ones are reactive and emotional and sensitive, but the evolved are able to, you know, think through things before letting it get to them, which is good. When it comes to communication, you guys are able to express yourselves. You guys wear your heart on your sleeves. You're super open to having conversations. You're constantly checking in. Hey, are you okay? Anything bothering you? What happened? Blah, blah, blah. Like, you're always checking in. You're very aware of your partner's emotions, and you're very in tune with your own emotions. So that helps you communicate effectively. All right, guys, so that was the first 6 signs. If you're interested in a part 2, make sure to let me know, and I'll do the next 6 zodiac signs in Mercury. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and once again, I want to give a shout out to Ana Luisa Jewelries for sponsoring this video. I got such beautiful pieces that I absolutely love, so I hope you guys can check them out and get some amazing pieces for yourself, because again, they have an amazing Black Friday deal that you should definitely take advantage of. So like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.